The crowd roars each time punches and kicks are exchanged. Young athletes are going up to the ring. Intensive training and ferocious body-to-body combat mean much more than just sport. To them, it means money. Bangkok, the capital city of Thailand. A Muay Thai competition is in progress. We meet a young 12-year-old Muay Thai athlete called Pao. He's getting ready to fight. He's warming up to relax before stepping up for his competition. He is no different from an average Muay Thai athlete. He is a child. He is clearly nervous as he watches others compete and waits for his turn to fight. And finally, it's his time. Before the actual fight takes place, the ceremony for Muay Thai warriors and their trainers is carried out. Fights start right after competitors take off their mongkons. Muay Thai is a combat method originally developed for Thai warriors. It consists of some very dangerous attacking methods. Most nations prohibit the use of elbow blows. In Thailand, however, these attacks are allowed and make the fights more intensive. Betting on players made by audiences make the fight even more furious. After the first round, people start to bet on players. The players being bet upon are children who only weigh from 20 to 30 kilograms. After their bets are in, audiences are even more intent, captivated by every move the fighters make. These young fighters are only 10 years of age. They're fighting against each other. It looks too dangerous for children of their age. But for the audiences, the safety of the fighters is none of their concern. What's important is the money they spend on betting. The crowd roars again when the competition finishes with the sound of the gong. People exchange the money they bet after the competition's result comes out. Pao is depressed after losing the fight, but he's a well-experienced fighter. He qualified to compete here after defeating many other opponents. How many fights have you had so far? Today was my 50th fight. Pao starts to inhale a strong painkiller to cope with the pain after the fight. You need more practice to be stronger. Don't forget, you need more intensive training. The words of his trainer heavily burden Pao, but he knows he needs to train even harder to win fights. That is the only way to make money. He makes about 5,000 to 6,000 baht for a fight. I How much does he make when he loses? About 4,000. Pao gets his fight money right after he finishes his fight. From his fight money, however, he has to pay about 3,000 baht to his trainer, mainly for tuition, food and shelter, leaving him with only about 1,000 baht, the money he has to send to his family back home. Pao falls asleep instantly in the car. It's been an exhausting day. In the countryside, many more young children decide to become Muay Thai fighters like Pao. Children start their training in a local gym almost before they can walk. These boys are only 4. When do those 4-year-old fighters start to fight in the ring? That little boy had 4 fights already. What's his record? 2 wins, 2 losses. He sometimes wins, sometimes loses. How much fight money does he earn? 300 baht. For these young children, Muay Thai means both their way of having fun and making money. They have to face some consequences when making money at such an age. Their bodies are full of scars from fights. And those scars will never go away as long as they continue fighting. Injuries from fights are not the only problem they have to face. We meet Pao again at his school. He's an ordinary student of his age, very different from his persona in the ring. But it is clear that his fight training has stopped him maturing. He is falling behind his classmates.
เป็นห่วงค่ะอยากให้เขาต่อยแบบว่ายังไง
Of course it's worrying.
ดูแลตัวเองให้มากกว่านี้เพราะว่าบางต่อย
The
เนี่ย
kids should be taught to look after themselves better.
อยากจะให้เขาแบบทิ้งช่วง
It's
บ้าง
okay to do fights.
คือมันต่อยติดๆเนี่ยเด็ก
But if a child this young plays in consecutive
ส
fights,
มองเขาเนี่ยบางที
he won't be able to
แต่
handle
จะ
it.
พัฒนาเหมือนคนอื่นเขาเนี่ย
His learning abilities will slow down visibly
เพราะว่าการเรียนของเขา
compared to the other children of his age. Pao's small build, frequent absence, and slow learning abilities make him a targeted loner at school. He's always by himself and has nobody to talk to. The only place Pao can really feel comfortable in Bangkok is the gym. Like Pao, many of the children here have come from the rural areas of Thailand. The children's dormitories aren't taken proper care of, there isn't sufficient sunlight, and the sanitary conditions are very bad. Still, it is thanks to these facilities that the children can do any training at all. It's been 2 years since Pao left home to live in Bangkok. While other children his age are living at home under the care of their parents, Pao is learning how to live alone and take care of himself. Even just by looking at the dormitory, it's quite obvious these children live in terrible conditions. The children are barefoot, practicing in the streets where people and cars go by. Here the children practice for 3 to 4 hours a day. Since Muay Thai is a fighting sport, it is essential for these children to build up stamina. But it's almost painful to watch these children as the practices are extremely tough. The training can become so intense that the children are injured. They don't want to complain about the training because they want to win. going to stay strong, work hard, and make 10,000, 100,000 baht. To earn money, they must win the fights. This is why the children swallow their pain and endure the harsh and dangerous training. It goes on late into the night. It was well after sundown that the children were given their dinner and a break. Dinner is the most awaited time. The children are in their formative years and have huge appetites. And they've had extensive practice. But during the fights, they aren't even given these short breaks. They have plenty to eat today, but if there's a fight tomorrow, they have to starve. They're not even allowed to drink any water. They have to bring down their weight to pass the weight limit. Only then can they eat enough. On top of the exhausting training, the children need to be concerned about their weight. This is an extremely demanding condition for the children. Sudden weight loss and not enough food consumption very quickly bring people to a vulnerable state. After enduring all this, the adulation of champions is well deserved. We met with past champion Bao, who's received 2 brain surgeries since his retirement. He finds it difficult even to walk up the stairs. His right arm and leg are paralysed, and he finds it difficult to move. Out of 145 fights, I won about 110. Bao was once the world Muay Thai champion. He enjoyed wide fame that even landed him a cover on a Japanese magazine. Bao retired at 29, which is later than most other fighters. I began at 17, so I did it for 12 years. Some fighters start as early as 10, and then they usually stop at about 24 or 25. That's about 15 years in total. 15 years is the longest amount of time. Then your time is up. After retirement, he worked as a trainer for a while, but the injuries he received as a fighter caught up with him. They had ruined his body. He is currently without a particular job. The severe artifacts of the fights have made him incapable of looking after himself. The most he can do now is moving his paralysed limbs in physiotherapy. This is how the former Muay Thai champion Bao is spending his days. Bao is not the only one living a difficult life since retirement. Most former fighters don't find suitable jobs and end up unemployed. Many of the people who didn't save up during their fighter years end up with nothing after they retire. They just stay at home because they have no money. But even the difficulties after retirement don't deter the children's dreams. They have dreams to become Muay Thai fighters, and the difficulties they face seem like investment for a better future. The same thoughts could be read on their bright expressions, so comparable to the dark expressions they had in school. They don't have a sufficient training environment, and they're training in the streets. It's a tiring and difficult sport, but they continue to live on their dreams every day. I'm going to buy a house for my dad. I'm going to buy a taxi for my dad. I want to be an engineer. I want to be in a bank. I'm going to work in an office. These fighters are working to earn money for their poor families. They endure the fierce fights and possible injuries. But the reality of the matter is that they don't have much other choice.